All right, hello, welcome to Adventures in Lollygagging. We are back to playing Werewolf the Apocalypse tonight, continuing and nearing the end of our Future Lies of Death campaign. I don't think tonight's the end, but who knows? Choices could accelerate things, but we're getting close. I'm guessing this is penultimate, but we could be wrong. Could be proven wrong. We are, as Jerry was saying, the best thing when you're nearing the climactic end is split the party. Go off in 3 separate directions. One of these days, you all should just go off in 5 separate directions just to see what happens.
Could
my goodness. That happened. That used to happen like Delta Green back when I first started running on a channel. Like, oh, you would go this way, you go that way. I'm like, I don't know what to do anymore. But everything's fine. Everything's fine. But yeah, we had a few interesting investigations at the end of last session. We'll pick up on that in a moment. A couple quick top of the stream plugs. We have a new Discord, and we're going to do a giveaway after the stream for anybody who's actually in our Discord. So if you want to have a chance to win a Norse Foundry gift certificate and get some fancy new dice and dice related accessories, then head over, join the Discord. Let's just drop it in the chat. We will draw randomly from all of the people in our Discord sometime after this stream. So hop on in if you're in the chat right now watching Twitch. Awesome. If you're watching this later on VOD, it's too late. Sorry, but you should still come hang out on Discord because we're probably going to be doing more giveaways like this on the Discord. So you can still get a chance to do it later. Other things, we got friends who have games running or about to be run on Kickstarter. We just started up Heroic Deeds, which our buddy Pete over at Garblight Games has up on Kickstarter right now. You can see it on Tuesdays. You can see the first episode of that over on our YouTube channel. We take a look. Maybe it's something up your alley. And our buddy Chuck from Defenders of Cobalt has one coming out next week up on Kickstarter for Zine Quest. Teenage Odyssey will drop on Wednesday. So you can already go see the preview page and get a reminder and all that kind of stuff. So we're just going to keep saying that until people back it, and then I'll stop. That's it. That's all I got. So why don't we go ahead and introduce some characters, and we can get down to business. So, Jeremy, who are you?
Yeah, I'm playing Eustace Hart, Philodox Hart Warden. Just a nice, even-keeled guy trying to help people out, and I guess the unofficial camp counselor now.
That's great. You have some excellent parental instincts. Excellent. Not saying anything more than that you have excellent parental instincts. That's all I am saying right now, Kipser. All I am saying is that Eustace has excellent parent. All I am saying, can I compliment somebody? I'm just trying to compliment.
Yeah.
Especially for somebody with no kids, like no teenage son, nothing. I mean,
it's fantastic.
It's real easy when they're not yours. I will say that it's so much easier when they're not yours.
Yeah,
So much
that's
shade.
true. Also, they're adults. Like they're college
Right.
age. Right. So they're not that young. So they don't need constant supervision and protection against, evil things. Next up, Melissa, tell us about Selena.
Selena is our children of Gaia Theurge, who is played by a player, me, who remembered between last session and this session that Mother's Touch is a gift that she has, and she can heal with that. And so every single session when Lou has mentioned that she still has aggravated damage hanging around, it should have been a hint to Selena to help her. And Selena, right over her head.
Whoops.
Nobody wants to help a Weaver lover anyway.
Okay,
That's an excellent point. It's an excellent point. That's been brought up by some other characters as well. So
I'm
remember
going
when
to
you
leave the Karen, and you guys will not know what to do.
and then you just you have the high road, and then bam, Karen. Like, never mind.
Hard
Now you're down in the
K.
muck with the rest of us. Okay.
Hard K.
I don't think the K is the problem. I don't think the K is the problem. All right. Next up, Duke Dustfane. Tell us about Duke, Evan.
Yeah, Duke is going to go die tonight as he was just trying to wrangle a spirit to help the group. But, if not, maybe we're just going to become Californians, me and Jacques. We'll see. We
At the surf.
Right. I mean, who knows what's going to happen? We're in the deep thick of black spiralness.
You're right on the border to California, and it's just a hop, skip, and a jump away. San Diego's not that far.
It's nice surf. When we're not having tornadoes, it's awesome.
Which It's very extremely rare, so you might want to bet on that. Yeah,
Like
yeah,
only,
extremely rare.
I've lived here for 12 years, so it's the first time I've heard of it. So
Yeah, there you go. But then again, I mean, trending. It could be trending. This could be an every year thing now.
Yeah,
You're the new
exactly.
Kansas.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Could be.
Could be.
And I mean, this is Werewolf the Apocalypse. So
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's a good
Correct.
to
point.
be a scenario in which it happened more often, this would be it.
Bingo.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. All right, tornado spawns on you guys. There we go. Right off the bat.
Right as we cross the border.
As you cross, bam.
I mean, how
You've
many
reached the edge
hurricanes
of the
can
world.
Jeff
Go
do?
back. Oh goodness. Next up, Lou, please tell us about. Well, actually, Kipser, please tell us about Lou.
Lou is a Ragabash glassweaver who's severely misunderstood by all werewolves in this area. So even though she is incredibly helpful and the best parent around, and just doing all the little police investigation stuff that nobody else, gets around to, terribly bullied all the time for no justifiable reason at all.
I know
all.
that you. I know you don't mean that.
At all.
I know you mean.
At all.
You literally bullied the living shit out of Titan and gaslighted that guy. One of the nicest people in the whole campaign. One of the best NPCs. Okay.
I don't. I'm not sure I know what you're talking
I have no
about, Jeff.
recollection of any
I
of it,
don't
so.
have any memory of this at all.
So
No.
ridiculous. So
It
ridiculous.
must have been somebody else. You must
Clearly.
be misremembering this.
It was
It's
pathetic.
okay. I know you're getting up there.
I'm getting up there. That is true. I am getting up there.
Jeez.
That's fair. Yep. I was told. I was telling them. I'm not sure if Jeremy heard this, but I was telling them that I had two students ask me today, "Hey, have you ever heard of tabletop RPGs? Do you know what those are?" It's like, "Yeah, kid. Yeah, I know what those are. Yeah, I know. Whatever." And he was like running Call of Cthulhu or something. I'm like, I don't want to engage. I could ask him the follow-up question and talk about it, but I don't want to talk to him, so I didn't. It's like, oh, that's interesting. It's interesting. And then I looked at my watch and move on. There you go.
Get out of here, kid. You bother me.
Basically what it is. Someday that kid's gonna find this episode and be like, "Hey, that was me. That was me." Oh, goodness.
On the internet
then-
forever.
Yeah, it might be a while. I mean, I hear YouTube keep stuff up there pretty well. And then finally, Aaron tells about Jacques.
Jacques is a wolf who occasionally has to hide in the rotting flesh of a furless monkey, the virus of humanity, but as a red Talon born under the warrior moon, an Ahroun soldier for the Green Mother, he will strike at the very throat of the weaver and claw out the guts of the worm, or die howling as he tries.
Okay, I mean, we're gonna find out in a moment. It's going one way or the other. We'll see.
It's my epitaph.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, everyone wrote one of those right for tonight, just in case. All right. So last time, oh my gosh, it's so Long. He's in chat again. I get so excited when Long shows up because he's amazing. All right. Last time around, you were continuing to collect information as best you can on Echo Labs, Lockroom, powers behind them, how that involved with Signal Mountain, the site that you've heard about a few times now as being kind of like the location, the big place, right? Selena and Lou, you were spending time surveilling Sasha Bennett, who was like project coordinator, project lead of the Southwest section of Echo Labs, this strange occult-like think tank with occult and tech and weird stuff going on. You were tracking a lot of different routes that she took between home and work. She had bodyguards, well armed. Her transport was somehow protected, and there's some kind of light that was emitting from her or them or something like that. Some sort of supernatural power or spirit infused thing going on there. Eustace, you spent time with Rune Skybinder and the rest of the young Garu. You were trying to calm them after the sudden arrival of Mother Marilla. Rune, you also heard, had been experiencing these very frightening visions of lightning and thunder and had suffered some kind of physical harm from those visions more than once. And with her help, the two of you contacted Mother Marilla through the Umbra, who you had a hunch was probably scrying on them or watching them this whole time. And you were not wrong. As you reached out and did some kind of strange summon, this massive shadow lifted off of the Superstition Mountains just east of the Grove and swept down through the skies of the Umbra into the direction over you and Rune were standing. And then finally, Jacques and Duke, you headed out west as you were looking for some kind of maybe spirit support, some sort of allies, things like that. You heard about the Kofa Wildlife Refuge on the border between Arizona and California, and there was apparently a big sept that had kind of gone quiet. And so you're trying to find out some information, what was going on there. When you arrived, you found a very remote, you were heading out to a very remote cairn, and you found that it was basically decimated. The sigil for the black spiral dancers, that swirling spiral, was affixed to various trees and cacti, rocks, grounds, all over the place. That's about where we end. That's where we ended. So let's go ahead and pick up. I want to pick up with the spiral dancer stuff. So let's pick up there. We've got the two of you are here. You're not being attacked by anything necessarily, but as you're standing, you do feel a fairly cold wind begin to wash over you in the otherwise relatively warm terrain. One of you climbed up a small tree. It's not like a, don't think of it like a redwood forest. It's a desert forest. So you have scattered trees here and there, but one of you kind of climbed up one and you looked down and you saw the terrain just had like carved or hewn into the ground itself was the spiral. And then on some rocks and some cacti, same thing. Everything has this sort of desiccated feel to it. Like just looking, even the smell, there's like a smell of rot on your nostrils as you wander about. So what did the two of you do here?
Duke, I think that the dancers that hit us, looks like they must have hit this sept before they hit us. Or it's another group of black spiral dancers, but I'm afraid the spirit here may be corrupted beyond all hope, like they were trying to do with ours.
Yeah, it's kind of scary because it wasn't supposed to be like a pretty big group of people up here. I mean, we only got hit by a couple dancers, but I don't know, like how many are there total, or how many do they run with?
I do not know, but we did hear of wolves being chained in silver. Perhaps some of the members of this sept were captured and are now being forced to serve the enemy.
Yeah, that's true. Can Duke do like an occult check or something with like what's happening to this area? Like, is this like a common thing black dancers do? Like they mark it and like, what I mean? Like Evan does not know this answer. So Duke is.
What's half? If you did like int and occult, where are you at?
I think it would be 3.
That is good enough.
Yeah.
So you would know. Maybe you did some studying after your sept was hit, or maybe it's just something you know off the top of your head. But you know that various black spiral dancers, specifically dirge singers, one of the ones that was singing that strange song on the wind, they have a rite, a blight rite is what it's called, and it essentially it causes, it damages a cairn, it reduces it, it causes it to sort of in the mechanics of the game, it lowers its value. But in sort of the story of it, it just begins to decay and decay and decay. And this certainly has the flavor of that.
Okay, and would that be something that could like corrupt a spirit or even destroy a spirit or just weaken it?
Yeah, so a spirit could potentially be, they were trying to essentially capture or obliterate yours. That's why you guys had to go inside. But it's also possible the spirit could have left, could have been driven away. So your spirit didn't try to leave, tried to stay back. So it's possible another spirit might have just tried to flee. So if you were like as you're standing around here, you can tell that there is no strong spirit that is protecting the flora here. Like it all looks hideous. The scent on the air is hideous. There's no way there's one here right now. So either it was somehow defeated, somehow driven away, or captured, whatever. Something like that has happened.
Well, it doesn't look like we're going to find anything here besides, I guess, this. we could try to go to some of the other locations and see if we run into anything. I mean, I don't know if we're gonna find much more here.
We could circle back and try to find those forced spirits that were near Prescott. Or did you not say that there were also some rageful spirits destroying neighborhoods on the north side of Phoenix?
Mm-hmm.
We could try to enlist their aid. They sound like they are strongly against the influence of the Weaver. Perhaps we could coax them to our side.
Yeah, we can try that.
Okay. Make a pool, both of you, and tell me what do you have that's fairly high? An awareness and probably wits. Like what would half of your pool for that be?
Half of my awareness and wits would be 3.
Okay.
What the heck is awareness? Oh, 1.
Jacques, you with 3, you can sort of feel the hairs in the back of your neck begin to raise a bit. You can't exactly place it, but you have just the vague sense that you're being watched.
Duke, something or someone is here with us. I can't pinpoint it, but we're under surveillance. We may need to be ready to fight or flee.
He starts stretching. Okay, just give me a second. This takes a while to warm up the gears.
Make that athletic stamina roll. See how this goes. Oh goodness.
Yeah, Duke will start stretching and he'll kind of just like yell out like, is anyone there? We're new to this area.
Okay. Is that all you say?
Yeah, I mean,
to this area. Okay. All right. No, nothing or no one reveals themselves.
Okay.
Okay. While you guys think about what you want to do next, let's jump over to Selena and Lou, who were last we saw. You've been following Sasha Bennett to and from both her place of work and her place of business. You've seen no deviation to other locales. You've seen that she has taken multiple routes, but the end neighborhood and this sort of like, North Scottsdale, Fountain Hills, really private locale, neighborhood gated, all that kind of good stuff. Between that and this downtown Phoenix, building, you've just seen that back and forth. What would the two of you want to handle? Like, what would you want to do next? Like, what's your plan?
Do we want to try to see the Umbra side of where she lives?
That might not be bad. I should probably follow up with Lucas at some point, but check out her place from the Umbra, and then also the maybe the Death Triangle as well at a distance.
Yeah, that I definitely would want to keep a distance from. My guess would be both sides would probably be protected there, maybe, possibly.
Yeah, well, maybe we can also do the little.
By the way, that gash on your arm, leg, wherever.
Yeah,
would you like
I've had this for a very long time. It's almost a part of me at this point.
Would you like me to do something about that? I feel bad that I haven't addressed that before.
Yes, I would appreciate not having damage to my person anymore.
That's what I am. It's what I am here for. Supposedly, me and my 6 dice of this.
Okay. All right. Sure.
Nice.
Go ahead. Intelligence plus glory.
Mother's touch.
Hey.
Yep.
6 dice.
Or like grandmother's touch, right?
maybe you can blame it on the lack of weed, like you didn't have your
I mean, to be very frank, I have spent so much time looking up at the stars. I have not been looking down at those closest to me, and that is a failing on my part. And this is a failing of a roll because there is nothing over.
I think
i
I'm about to remember why I never asked you to heal me after you broke the person's legs trying to heal him the last time you tried to heal.
Good.
Oh God, I remember that.
Yeah, that's also partly why I didn't remind Melissa.
I'm gonna spend a willpower.
Because of rolls.
Okay.
I can reroll 3 of these, right? For
Yep.
a willpower. All
Yep.
right. So let's reroll these 3 and see how that goes.
I would prefer not more injuries at this point in time. Thank you.
Hey, 668.
Okay, 668. So you have 3 successes. Now, Lou, if the number of successes exceeds the subject's current rage, a single level of aggravated damage can be healed in place of a superficial one.
What's your current rage, Lou?
I have one rage.
Okay.
Me
well, there you
too.
go. Okay.
I keep using it to try to heal myself.
So we'll say that. So we'll say that the two of you, after trailing Sasha Bennett back to her home, you don't follow into the gated community, obviously, but then you retreat back for a bit. You know where to go. You know where the locations are. You know the basic routes. What would the two of you be doing next? I mean, obviously the healing's happening. Sure, that's fine. But where would you want to go next? Like, what would your next step be?
Do you want to wait for another night to get another how a rage to do the Umbra travel to take a look, or is that I can also just try to look at from without going into the Umbra?
We lose willpower when we go into the Umbra, right? Like it's not necessarily a rage issue.
It's a scene. Yeah, for every scene, you either take some damage or you expel a willpower, basically.
But don't you have to do a rage check to go into the Umbra?
Oh yeah.
You need to
that's
do
what I was
the
thinking.
right. So Selena would have
Rite
to
of
do
Shadow
the
Passage.
basically,
Rite of Shadow
Passage.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I don't.
Versus a difficulty that I'm setting based upon where you're at.
Yeah.
So like 12.
Yeah, we're not getting
Happens to be
into it.
47. Yeah, it's not that high, but it's higher than. I mean, it's higher than your own set. Okay, I'll come back. You guys figure out what you want to do. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool.
Okay.
Hey, Jeremy, how's it going, man? You and Rune are inside the Umbra. You are at your own or near enough to the grove that you can sort of see the remnants of the pulsing nature of your spirit. You can see the extremely effervescent glow of your various orange trees, one of which is supremely higher than the other. And then you can see swooping down at a alarming speed that belies what you would imagine is possible. There is a massive shadow with these huge wings, and the shadow will wrap itself around the top part of the tallest tree in the grove, which you two have climbed up and kind of did your little song to. And when you look up, Eustace, you don't see any signs of the human face of Mother Marilla. You see what basically is a raven that is the size of like some prehistoric condor. It's enormous. And it's just looking down at you with these glassy black eyes, head cocked and turning. Doesn't say anything.
Greatly obliged that you would take the time to come and visit us. All the young crew have spoken very highly of you, and well, just to put it frankly and humbly, I'm hoping I might ask your help, because I have a notion that given what they've said of you, I hope even that you care for them as well, and might be we could work together to take care of a problem in the immediate vicinity.
Head cocks, moves around like 100 times, rapid and fast. Like you're certain she's paying attention to you, though. And the beak opens up, and you just hear like this squawk come out. Just squawk! Eustace! Friend!
Yes, ma'am. That is correct.
she looks over towards Rune, and Rune's just kind of looking up at her with this, just like, you can tell she's just so, like, she's like in awe, like, in a way. For some reason, they just revere this woman. So when you look down at Rune, she's got kind of nodding her head. She's smiling. She's looking at you with, kind of like almost puppy dog eyes, that kind of deal. And then the giant raven, once more, the mouth opens up. Speak! Speak!
All right, then.
Eustace.
Well, here's the thing. I can't say I'm the sort of fellow that knows everything what's going on, but there does seem to be this one place called Signal Mountain. A whole bunch of terrible people messing around over there.
Death! Hour of death!
That was Jeremy's audio, honestly, not quite making out what you were saying.
Yeah, they could probably hear it on stream, but you guys probably get it cut out on Zoom. She's hour of death, etc., etc. That kind of thing.
Yeah. So here's the thing, like, we've got some friends that are trying to check into, like, the more mundane things. The scientists that are there. Got some other friends looking to see if there's any spirits nearby that might be helpful. You see there's this whole, like, what might be like a corrupted thunder spirit or something such over there. And Rune here, poor young things, even had, like, dreams of, like, lightning and then hurt in the real world after the dreaming. And, well, that's just got me real concerned. It seemed like the sort of thing that it'd be appropriate to turn to you for help.
You can see at the mention of Rune being hurt, she hops down from where her perch was, and then to another, and like one after the other, until she's like right next to Rune, and she wraps these massive black wings around Rune, and Rune seems to be completely fine with it at that point. And then she turns to you, and she says, "Gifted! She's gifted."
She is. I agree with you 100%. That's, in fact, she's the one that helped me realize maybe I might have had the wrong idea earlier. Thought I was protecting kids my own way, but maybe trying to not, invite you to be part of their lives was a mistake. Honestly, should be looking into trying to speak with you more. Maybe she needs you, sounds like.
She says, again, squawking in that horrifically obnoxious bird voice, like, "Here! Been here! Always see all, nothing hidden."
Well, that's fine by me. I am an open book, and I'm really happy that you could be here keeping an eye on things, because I'm sometimes worried I'll miss something important.
Then she'll call out and she'll say, "Ask. What of me? Ask."
And this is one of those things where got enough humility to be willing to ask, but not necessarily always the wisdom to know the right things to ask. But Rune speaks so highly of you, and I feel like you're the sort of person that if I was to ask for guidance for where to go, how to deal with this thunder spirit off to the, I assume it's west comparatively where we are.
Yes.
Yes. Because I assume it's part of the problem that we're dealing with, and given the nature of Rune's dreams, I have to assume it's probably what's putting the hurt on her too. And to be honest, I don't know quite how to get over there and deal with the thunder spirit, but you see things, got a lot more experience in this realm than I do, and I'd just like to put myself before you humbly and ask for your guidance, whatever wisdom you might be willing to share, and I'll be glad to put into action whatever I can do to take care of it, and also help make sure Rune does not suffer any further harm.
Give me a pull. I don't know. We can do. I mean, all of that sounded pretty reasonable. We can do persuasion, maybe, and whatever attribute you think you're using here.
Okay.
Eustace is nothing if not reasonable. He has proven himself over and over.
He tries really hard to be.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. I assume it's probably more charisma than composure.
Charisma or manipulation, one of the two, I would think.
Yeah, it's a tie between the two.
Fine.
There we go.
Okay.
Hope for something decent.
3 successes.
3?
That's good. you see as she shifts, actually, and she shrinks slightly. So she's no longer this gargantuan raven. And she instead takes that kind of the equivalent of like Galabro form, right? Half raven, half human. Her voice still has that like bird-like quality to it, where like there's a squawk that comes out. And she says, "Lord of Thunder rages. Imprisoned it is. Imprisoned. Not enemy. Not enemy. Not friend. Will rage. Bird is caged. Caged birds angered when released. Careful. Not all. More than Lord. More things inside.
So is this like a Thunderbird, right? I mean, where is that kind of the vibe that you're sharing here?
Yeah.
You said a bird that's caged. Okay, Thunderbird. That is some serious business.
Yeah. Bigger than me. More powerful.
Well, okay, so I won't expect any hugs or appreciation for setting it free, but it does seem like the right thing to do. So,
Right? Wrong? No difference. It's angry. Angry. Others too. She starts like twitching in this weird way. Her head cracks back like her neck just broke. And then it flops forward in this like lolly little moving around, and her face like limbers up, her mouth opens. Mother of glass. The dead. The dead. Dogs in spiral. And she starts rapidly listing what sounds to you like these supernatural powers. Dogs with spirals, spiral dancers.
yeah, so we got a black spiral dancers, got ourselves some sort of super tech lady. That sounds in line. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And she, at a certain point, like as she's listing, her head will snap back again, and you'll see it'll come back up, no longer in that kind of shifting state where her neck just doesn't seem to be working anymore, and she was just sort of overtaken by something.
All right.
At that point, she will when she shifted, she still had kind of her arms wrapped around Rune, and she lets go. At that point, Rune had like tucked her head like into the crook of the strange woman's neck, and she's younger. She's actually indeterminate age. You really can't really tell an age from her, but she's like half raven, half human at this point. But she'll let go, and then you can see she begins to transform back into like her large form, and then she'll squawk out, "Always watching. Well, no. If you mistreat. And she lifts up into the air, like of the Umbra, her arms extended extremely wide to cast this immense shadow over top of all of Gaia's Grove. And she flies back up onto the mountain.
Well, that was something.
Okay. At that point, we will shift back to Jacques and Duke, still over by the border to Arizona. What do the two of you want to do now? You know that, Jacques, you had a feeling of being watched, but couldn't quite place where. What's the plan for the two of you?
Jacques will turn towards Duke, and as he's walking towards him, just very, very quietly say, "Do you want me to shift and see if I can find who's got their eyes on us?"
Yeah, if you want. I'm just sitting here on Spirit Mingle. I don't know why I got ghosted.
Spirit Mingle.
I have some other matches though, so don't it's okay if this doesn't work out. It's just, I thought we really hit it off and it's just a little confusing.
So Jacques will he'll move away and then trying to find some cover or a little bit to move behind and then shift into his bow and see if he can circle around and spot who is
Okay.
observing us, if it's somebody within the actual natural world.
Absolutely. You can give me another pool once you shift, and what would that do? Or you can make a roll if you wanted to make an active roll to try to go for better than what your half would be. That's fine too.
Duke is going to do some alluring stretches to be a distraction while he.
My half would be 4, but if you think I should roll, I will.
4 is enough to actually see. 3
Okay.
was not quite enough. 4 is enough. You see in the distance, Jacques. It looks to be climbed up this like gnarly, wiry tree that is, 15 feet tall or so, and almost blending into it. You see a person. You see a human, rags, dirt covered. They're probably 50 yards away or so, maybe 70. They seem to be outside of this desiccated radius that the two of you have been exploring around, and they have what looks like binoculars, and they're watching the two of you as you've been exploring these grounds.
I yip back towards Duke to indicate that I see something and that he should follow in his human form. And then Jacques will run to the base of the tree and basically tree this human.
Tree this human? Is that what?
Yeah, I mean, run to the base of the tree, pop my paws up, look up, growl,
okay.
terrify.
Okay. Doesn't react actually in a way that suggests they're terrified. Just kind of like
supernaturally
surprised,
aware,
but not terrified. Yeah, just kind of looks down at you. And you can see a man in his probably 30s or 40s or so, but has lived a very difficult life, especially of late, as he is sunburned extensively. The skin looks kind of gnarled and sort of blistered here and there. Clothes are certainly ragged, and they have what looks like these pale eyes, like these eyes that just feel tired to you. And as you're there yipping, you hear just the voice come out from, "You don't know what comes for us all. If you did, you would not waste time on me."
So Jacques is just kind of growling low in his throat, looking back, waiting for Duke to get here.
Duke, when you eventually come up, the guy has not climbed down from the tree. You guys could easily climb up there. It's not like a difficult tree to climb, but when he sees you approach, Duke, you can call off your muscle. I don't mean you harm, nor do I suspect I could affect such harm on you.
Duke will just kind of give a look to Jacques.
Jacques will just kind of fall off the tree and bound around and just kind of doing spirals around to make sure that this guy's by himself while Duke talks to him.
He'll say to you, "You are too late, brother. We have fallen. All. Some have passed on. Others are leashed. And the worst are like me. And we no longer feel the wolf at all."
Well, that's unfortunate. But if you would like us to take you somewhere, or do you want to leave here? I mean, this place seems pretty awful.
This is my penance for failure.
I mean, what do you remember what happened?
Yes. They came in the storm, in the dust, from all sides. They swerved, they ravaged, they killed. And we could do nothing. We were weak, scattered. They knew when to attack us. And so they did. And then he's like, tries to spit, but you can tell like his mouth is so dry that he's really kind of unable to do so.
Do you want to come down and talk? We have water and food if you want.
He looks at you and he looks at Jacques. I will take water, if it pleases. He starts to climb down. He stumbles a little bit. And when he lands, you realize he's extremely frail. Like, you would probably guess, Duke, that he has been out here for a couple weeks, all on his own, or in the elements, as it might be.
Do you know if your pack that was leashed, are they still mentally coherent, or are they being manipulated some way?
They are gone to me and I to them. They were taken. First it was the dogs, then the metal. The metal came in the sky, on the ground. They shot silver in our veins, threw nets over our wise ones, and dragged those who could be away. Those who fought were put down. Those who ran were chased down. Few got away. I know not where they have gone. The wolf is lost to me, you see. I cannot feel it any longer. It is gone. Everything is gone. There is no hope left.
Did your Cairn spirit, did they just run? Did they disappear from here?
And he gets like almost sick, and he like retches up like this dry heave of bile. They defiled it. They defiled it. Clipped it, wrapped it in taint. I don't know how the humans did it, but they did. They had Von Molly with them. Infected, possessed. They seem to work in tandem with each other. They betray the spirit world. He tries to spit again, but again, it just doesn't work.
Well, I'll offer you a hand once again if you want to come with us. I mean, you don't need to fight, but these are the same people we're after, and we're trying to find allies. So if you'd like to join, we can take you. If not, it's no offense.
It's gonna need a roll for this.
Yeah,
what
sure.
would you pull together? Whatever you think Duke would use to try to convince
All right.
him to.
I'll do
come along.
manipulation, persuasion.
Okay. I like it.
And let me double check some stuff. Should be +2. Manipulation. There we go. Four, and I'll you know what? I'll willpower. Let's see if we get some more.
Okay.
You know, we gotta help a brave soul that's been abandoned. 5.
Okay. You can tell that he doesn't want to. You can tell that he is sort of resigned in some ways, as this sort of being his penance, you know. And he keeps talking about having sort of like the wolf has been lost to him. You realize he's kind of sort of fallen, like I think it's Hirano, basically. He's just sort of given in some ways and given up. But something about you trying to get him to join, seeing other wolves, you see like he'll look up and he'll say, I will die with other wolves. That is the best fate I can hope for. I will come with you, useless though I may be.
You'll find a new purpose. And perhaps we can get the wolf back in you.
What purpose does not pale when compared to that which I once was? But I will come, if only to die somewhere else from here.
Well, that sounds good. I'm Duke. This is Jacques. And what is your name?
I was once called Bloodwind, but I don't deserve that name. I am Armando. That is what I will go by now.
All right. Well, we're going to head back. We were trying to get some help from the spirits, as we know where these people that attacked you are, but like you've experienced, they have a lot of tricks and weapons, so we're trying to gather what we can.
That is wise. I wish you luck. I will come with you, though. And with that, I shall bring all of my bad luck with me. And you will suffer for it as I have.
That's okay. I'm pretty old, so.
You have a good spirit and sense of humor, do you? They will break that eventually.
Well, we'll see.
We will.
We will.
We will.
Jacques comes up and growls at the guy as if to say, get your shit together, wolf.
You hear a beep on Duke's phone. Oh, another match.
Okay. And so you return to your cars with Armando Bloodwind. Well, the werewolf formerly known as Bloodwind. Okay, let's check back in with Lou and Selena. Are we doing another healing roll? What did you two like to do next?
I did only have like one aggro left, so I am currently, for the first time since the start of the campaign, fully healed.
Wow, feeling pretty good. Nice.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Thank
So
you.
this is the perfect time to make the
So now we're going to attack
recommendation.
each other. Yeah.
As the two of you are sitting in your car, one of you noticed there is a red dot on Lou's chest. Where did that come from?
Technically, I am in Hispo right now, so
That's
Okay.
silver. That's 50 caliber silver
You
round.
still have chest.
From that
Yeah,
Parrot 50
yeah.
caliber sniper rifle.
All right.
So,
what's
now
the plan
that
for
you're
you two?
feeling a little bit better, perhaps we might want to get a little more in the spirit of things before we jump over into the Umbra.
yes, that's and Lou will kind of like because it's evening, sort of slink around back into the shadows, her dark fur kind of trying to blend in, and just full speed run at you from behind and just like rake the claws down and push you into the ground with her wolf form into your Gladbro form.
And Selena is just going to sort of like reach behind her and with, kind of old woman strength that you weren't quite expecting, kind of turn around and grab you and kind of flip you kind of
WWE.
And so we were taking up our rage.
Yes.
One each.
Gotcha.
And yes, let's all right.
That's
Let's take
3 minutes of full health that you had. I hope you savored them.
I appreciate it. It's all right. Let's do the right. I'm with you.
Okay.
Okay.
So whereabouts are we, and where are we trying to go? You just parked your car somewhere random, and you're trying to get into the neighborhood where Sasha Bennett lives?
We're not necessarily going into the neighborhood. We want to look at what it looks like from the Umbra. So if we can't see it at a distance, maybe we'll get closer.
Okay.
But I don't know that we would immediately go close to it. That's just my feeling.
It's just the two of us.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds like some coward talk. That's fine.
I remember that you
just
broke my telescope. She might have another one.
You broke your telescope.
You broke my telescope.
Let's see. This would be depends on where you go. If you guys, if you're near enough to the neighborhood, it'd probably be a 3 difficulty. It's not that bad. As long as you're outside of the neighborhood, it would probably be a 3. Inside would be a 4. So difficulty 3. If you want to give that a rip.
Okay, so
and don't forget, since Lou is participating,
that's what I was.
So get a rage die.
Okay, so it's any renown plus occult. So I'm going to go with glory because I've got 3 glory plus occult,
Gotcha.
which is 3. So that's 6 plus a rage dice. So I now have 2 rage, which means I'm rolling 3 rage dice. 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so 7 dice total.
Fingers crossed for your terrible rolls.
Okay, that's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successes.
Hey.
Okay. So the two of you find a place not too far from the neighborhood. You are north of the primary city. So you can actually find some swath of land that is still attuned to nature. You can find a hill or kind of a park or something like that allows you to sort of sneak off into lessen the difficulty, and you can feel the gauntlet give way. And when you give over into the usual, you get the usual look around the Umbra, and you can see things have started to shift and change. Distances have become more difficult to predict. Buildings that moments ago were these tall things of concrete. You look at them now, and you can see all this strange metaphor of safes and money, and you can see other things that look more like this golden arch and such. But eventually, you find your way traveling through not too far to what, now that you look at it, appears to be this kind of giant cage, like this with series of bars, almost I'm not sure if it's a prison cell, keeping out or keeping in, but you can see that the neighborhood itself takes on the appearance of something that is either holding something in or holding something out, one of the two, but it's just sort of a massive cage. It's probably not it's a relatively obvious metaphor in this case. It's a gated community and kind of has that feel to it. In terms of spirits, you do see an occasional one kind of flickering around here and there, going about its business. You can see some strange spirit kind of off in the distance, serving as what almost looks like signal lights. You can see another kind of over here that's traveling along on the dark hills. That might be some kind of animal spirit. Nothing out of the ordinary that you wouldn't see any other time that you would just travel around and relatively populated neighborhood. So what do you want to do?
Lou is just going to look up and see if she can see any weavers up around and see,
Yeah.
because she recalls sometimes they can be sick around this kind of stuff. She wants to make sure
you
how healthy
look
they
around
are.
for them, and you can see that there are lines, like the webs, there's
Mhm.
sort of communication threads here and there that the spider, the weaver spiders kind of stitch here and there. You don't notice much like that first arc of the game. You don't really notice anything to suggest something is in bad order here. Everything again looks relatively normal. They're up fairly far in the sky, and it's really just that they are sending internet signals, cell phone signals, TV signals. It's essentially all this communication that's effectively happening up ahead, and they're moving around at these great speeds. Some are on top of what looks like a cell phone tower in the distance. This big hulking spider-like figure with a giant sort of spherical rear to it that's kind of glowing and sort of pinging so that you can see almost a mile away. But again, nothing that would alarm you currently.
Doesn't look out of the ordinary. Should we try to push into this cage?
Yes, I think we should do our due diligence at reconnaissance.
Right, let's be very careful, but move forward.
Okay, one of you give me an occult wisdom test.
That would be I think a 5 for me. How many dice would that be for you?
Same, go for it.
Okay. I will just use one of my 3s, and
We have, I think we're like going to war or something. We have like 1,000 planes going overhead right now. It's absurd. It's good.
It's just ridiculous.
We're muting ourselves because we can hear it. It's absolutely
It's
insane.
constant.
do I want to use a willpower to reroll?
I feel like
those
Red
two?
Dawn is happening and we're busy playing Werewolf.
Well, if you get invaded, let us know.
We
I
also
will
have
come-
plenty of audience dice if you want to kind of like onesies for
yes.
rerolls.
If I can use one for one reroll, I will do that.
Not a purist, I see.
No. I have no shame. What are you talking about? No, never
Oh,
mind.
I'm aware.
Cut. So 3 successes.
Okay. That is enough for you can essentially find a gap in this strange cage around you and push yourselves through. You can kind of feel it eat away at you. Like it's not like you're pushing in between the bars as much as you seem to be going through some sort of invisible or translucent barrier, but you're able to kind of push your way in. You almost feel like part of you is left behind in some way. You feel lighter, as though not all of you has made it in. But when you look out in front of you, you can see row after row of sort of like these kind of identical looking boxes, one after the other, which you think is just the neighborhood. But Lou, you do notice that pretty much hanging on top of, in the corners of, or underneath the eaves of them, you can see dozens and dozens of these giant eyeballs just staring out left and right in all directions. And I would say without a roll or anything, Lou, you're familiar. You would know that these are likely some kind of lurking spirit. They're likely watching. That's sort of their purpose. They might be inhabiting security cameras. They might be in sort of inhabiting like motion sensors on lights, things like that. And they all of which they're everywhere. It's infested, almost like a teenage acne, like every which way up in front of you.
Selena, hold on. I'm just going to activate Right of the Forgotten Record. We're being watched all over the place, so it would make me feel better. So I'm just going to activate, while we're in the Umbra, a wisdom and investigation. Right. Boop. And boop. There we go. So that is 5 successes to activate our forgotten records. And then I think I'm going to use my gift Spider's Song to see if I can hear the house that we care about. See if she's talking on a phone or anything.
Okay.
Which will cost me 1 willpower.
So I would say that as you go through the rite of the forgetful record, you're not actually, I would say you would probably not be particularly confident that it's actually going to function in this case, as that would most certainly keep you from the database of just your standard mundane recording devices. That's not what this is. These are cameras that are infested, are literally possessed by spirits.
Okay.
So there are spirits that are possessing them. So that would more work in the case, it's possible. Yeah. It's possible it could work, but like it might prevent data from being transmitted to databases, but it wouldn't necessarily prevent a spirit from actually seeing you. So that might be something to think about.
Change of plans. And Selena, maybe stay here for a second. I'm going to do Blur of the Milky Eye and do that way instead. And I'm just going to sneak up there.
Still haven't moved an inch.
Excellent. If you hear screaming, please come and save me.
Okay.
Great. I am not a good fighter.
Don't worry. She's going to heal you, okay?
Yeah.
Eventually.
She remembered. Okay? She has this ability.
Second to last episode. Yeah. All right. Then instead, I'm going to do Blur of the Milky Eye with a Forgotten Record mixture. And that is a rage check instead of willpower. So I will just do...
Yeah, it's just basically
lovely.
A stealth effectively is what you're doing.
I'm glad we did that extra rage. I have a little bit of a buffer, but it is active. And that means, so I kind of look and maybe there's some lizards around and I pull in their kind of form to become shimmering and harder to see.
Okay. So
means my stealth check uses my wisdom.
Yeah, you can go ahead and roll that stealth check too, if you like.
Okay, wisdom bonus is 3. Is where's stealth 1 and dexterity and 3. Roll. Okay, 1 wisdom for a reroll.
She rolled 3 successes.
It's not horrible.
It's not great though.
You crit though.
That is crit. So that's 2 of the 2 stars. Okay,
that's
so
like 7 successes, and it's a crit.
I take it.
Okay.
Now I feel better.
That's a superbly good stealth score. So yeah, Lou. So you start stealthing around. So when you say you go up, what are you going up to?
We've been following Sasha for a while. I presume we've at least used like a telescopic lens on a camera to take a look at which house she's specifically going to.
You could, but you're not in the physical world. You are in the Umbra. The houses don't look like anything they look like in the physical world, nor are the spatial relationship of the Umbra even remotely close to the physical world. So everything looks weird and different. It's like all boxy. This certainly looks like a cookie cutter home. Like that's what it is. It just looks literally like these cookie cutter sections here and there, grid base, and these floating eyes all over the place.
I'm gonna see. I'm assuming that Sasha, who messes around with the Umbra in technology, might have a different looking house. Like maybe there's something poking out, or maybe there's. So I'm gonna look for any differences in this world of cookie cutters.
Give me an awareness wisdom roll.
Awareness
Put that
wisdom.
Pool together, or you could just give me a half of that. Let me know what that is.
Wisdom, you want me to use the renown?
Yeah, renown. Yeah.
Okay. Awareness, wisdom. Where's...
You can just pick another stat that has the same.
Yeah,
you just give me the total
what I have
and
to
then
do.
just cut it in half. You don't even have to roll it. It's not.
Oh, it would have been 3. I got how about a 5?
Wow.
You notice that nothing is I would say nothing is as you're stealthing around the neighborhood, and you're looking a bit here and there, going down one road, up the other, etc. You pass by what looks like these just absolutely depressed water spirits that it just seemed to be built up like some sort of reflecting pool that's not supposed to be here. And they just seem, when you look out at them with this sort of resignation, you pass by them, they don't bother you at all. They're just spouting water out of what's not supposed to be there. You see these little weaver spirits that are kind of functioning, almost telling them what to do, and they seem almost enslaved in their own right. You do notice one building stands out, and it's not because it looks different from a physical shape, but it's glowing. Like you can see, like there's a distinct sort of green, sickly green glow to it. And as you get somewhat close to it, you also start to hear a buzz. Almost like this massive swarm of insects.
Oh, it's the death. It's the death ice cream truck sound. I'm going to push a little bit closer, but if that buzzing, like I start to feel a negative effect of it, I'm pulling back.
Okay, so your stealth score is so great that you aren't noticed by what appear to be several spirits that have taken up sentry in and around this shape. I'll roll over your sort of awareness, sort of wisdom, occult kind of thing. They're scrag spirits, basically. Like they're very, they're not pleasant. They're definitely thuggish in like their sort of purpose. Likely, you would guess that they might be sort of guarding the path into here in the spirit world, but they don't notice you as you are moving with great stealth. However, you do start to feel this overwhelming sense of nausea and sickness overwhelm you, and some of these would appear to be these very healthy-looking horseflies and other types of insects begin to get caught up in your clothes, your hair, your fur, whatever it might be.
Pain,
and you do feel a bit of nausea. Not to the point where you have to roll anything, but you're feeling it.
And so she'll trot back towards Selena, come up behind her, spook her. As she reappears and reemerges next to Selena out of nothing.
We're so quiet.
Yes, the paws help. So there is a weird sickly green glow, and there's flies, and it's the death, the ice cream truck death sounds that we were talking about before. So I think if I push through, I worry that it's going to force me human, and I don't think it would work very well. Maybe even out of the Umbra, I don't know, but I don't really want to find out. But no good stuff.
Okay, but we've got more information than we had before, yes?
Yes. Okay. I think. Oh, look at the time on my paw wrist.
Look at your wrist. The watch isn't even there anymore. It's just like there's just nothing there. Some sort of.
I think I before the. Okay, I think we should call it a night for now, and I probably should go and talk to my son briefly at some point in time.
I'm sure Eustace is keeping him company. I'm sure it's all good.
As we cut to Eustace, and he is in fact not keeping Lucas company, as he is with Rune still in the Umbra. So Eustace, what do you do next, man? What are you up to now?
Well, I know that she doesn't have the same Umbral Traveler ability that I have, so this is kind of starting to drain her. So it seems important to kind of get back out of here.
Sure. Okay. The two of you, without effort. I mean, it's no trouble at all. You're in your own sept. Everything's easy. You step back through. You find yourselves once more within the grove. It's nighttime. You can see the sun has now gone down. You have the people in your grove are mostly the inner circle. You don't really see any of like the part-time workers, the orange pickers, stuff like that. So it's really just sort of inner circle now. So it's mostly other Garu and maybe an occasional human that is in the know, that kind of deal. So what's next?
And just take a second, give Rune a smile. Say, how does it feel to know that you were right? She cares about you a whole lot, it seems.
Well, to be fair, I already knew I was right. It was you who didn't know that I was right.
Exactly. How does it feel to let my dumb ass realize how wrong I was.
I don't think you are dumb. You're just being careful, and there's nothing wrong with that.
I mean,
how does it feel to know that I was right?
It feels amazing. I'm so happy. I just
Good.
want to find a way to have that Thunderbird not cause any more harm. And I'm glad we know what it is. I still don't know exactly what to do about it. Might go talk to Adora, see if she's got anything. Might not hurt to cut your friends in on the loop too. You know, I'm sure they trust you and they believe you about the stuff that's going on with the dreams, and then you getting hurt in the real world. I'm not exactly sure how to protect you from that, other than to go deal with it and hope that if we can get it free, then it'll be angry initially, but maybe it'll pass. And
she like looks over to her friends who are probably off like one of the years, like working or something like that, studying for werewolf school when Duke gets back and gives them a test or something. And she looks at them, she looks back at you, and she gives you a hug, and she says, "Thank you for caring."
thank you.
And then
I'm just
sure.
You first.
I'm sure
sorry.
whatever you think to do will be right.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to need all the help we can get, but at the same time, the last thing I want to do is like drag you straight towards the thing that's causing you harm. So what I'm thinking is, obviously you and all your friends are like just a real top-notch quality group of people. Got a lot of strong bonds between you, a lot of great gifts. And I mean, Mother made it pretty clear that if we set that Thunderbird free, it's probably just going to be pissed at anybody in the vicinity.
Yeah.
So it seems like we're going to need some good quality folks to still be here after that happens. So I'm hoping that you be willing to kind of share some of that spirit with your friends. Because I can't promise everybody's going to make it back, and I want you to kind of watch after everybody. Invite Mother to watch over you as well. I mean, obviously, it's up to you if you want to be here or not be here. I see a lot of good in you. So Mother Marilla does too. If you'd be willing to, I would feel a lot of peace in my heart to go off and do what we're going to try and do. If I could think that maybe you and your pack would still be here in case things go the way they might go.
Are you asking us to go with you and help you, or stay here and out of harm?
No, very much the opposite. I'm saying I think it's going to go bad. I think it's the right thing to do.
It will. I think so. I don't think, and she looks down at her legs, which are shredded again.
Mm-hmm.
Remember,
exactly. I do not want to bring you any place close to that. But if you'd be willing to talk amongst your friends, and again, you guys want to skedaddle, get out of this place. Who wants to hang out in the goddamn orange grove? I hear it. But at the same time, this place is special. I think you and your pack are special too. So in case things happen to us, it would mean a lot to me knowing that there was good people that would still be here in case it goes the way I think it's going to go.
So you want us to stay here instead of go helping you in case you all die so that the younger generation can take over?
Yeah, it's pretty much the more direct way to go about it. I just don't like talking about my own death. I feel like I'm a pretty composed man, but I get that little bit of myself that like, I'm okay with it, but I'm not excited about it.
Mm-hmm. Well, everyone has to die sometime.
That's true. People that try and say otherwise tend to be huge assholes that make a big pain for everybody else.
Feel like you're referring to someone and I don't get the reference because you're old and I'm young.
That's true. It's true. Okay, well, I'm going to go see if anybody knows a damn thing about how to interact with a Thunderbird.
Okay. So
this was good.
It was. Thank you for listening and for helping and for being kind to Mother Marilla. She means well in her own way.
If I survive this, I hope to get a chance to talk with her more.
That is the most I've ever seen her talk with somebody. If it makes you feel any better. Usually she just squawks, but she almost gave you complete sentences.
Wow. Okay. So you're saying I got shot.
I mean, I could put
I'm
in a
joking.
good word for you. if you want.
I'm joking. I'm terribly sorry. That's a horrible joke. Unless it's not. It probably is.
Again, I don't know if I'm supposed to. I'm gonna go talk to my friends now.
Okay. That's a good idea.
All right, so she wanders off and she talks about how creepy Eustace is trying to hit on their adopted mother. What would you like to do now, Jeremy, with Eustace? What's his next play?
Sorry, I got a frog in my throat tonight. Suppose most of the folks are kind of scattered at the moment. I might go and try and talk to Doris, see if she has any insight on. You know,
Okay.
I'll share what I learned, that apparently it's some sort of like caged Thunderbird spirit. Getting it out of the cage is going to be an us thing. Interacting with it, if we can reach it, is, that is a knowledge set that I don't really have.
Okay. So you'll find her in the usual place beneath the church as she's sort of communing and checking in on your own care and spirit. This is after the day's work is done, and you'll just sort of sit there on the rocky ground of your subterranean cave, and she'll say, I've never interacted with a spirit so powerful and great, but there is no special trick that will work on all spirits. They all are their own creatures, and they are difficult to understand. Spirits of that power are even more complex. Their motivations are beyond our understanding. We know so little. You know more than most, Eustace, of the Umbral in the spirit world. I know perhaps a touch more. But I will say this. Rarely does a spirit react poorly to well-intentioned behavior.
That's going to be my hope.
Yes, and you are, if nothing, well-intentioned.
Thank you. I mean,
You're welcome. My advice will be to do what you can to beseech it with your charms. Do what you can to show that you are friendly to it. Do what you can to show that you are not the same as those who have captured it. And perhaps it will spare you in its rage.
Okay. Well, I'll go put on the Axe body spray and, we'll see if it's not a total ground zero situation. I'm kidding. I don't have Axe body spray.
Like I said, well-intentioned.
Well-intentioned, not stupid. I'll skip the Axe body spray.
That might be a good idea.
Yeah.
That stuff is terrible. I think the worm made it, to be honest.
I think so
it's
too.
Just bodied worm.
All right. Well, wait for my friends to get back, and we'll go storm the castle. It sounds like a great time awaits.
So we'll say in short order, Selena and Lou. I think you were coming back, right? Is that fair? Because Lou, you wanted to check on your
Yes.
son.
Yeah.
Okay. Forgot about it. Okay, but you, the two of you were going to leave the Umbra and start
Yes.
going to work.
Yes.
So let's check back.
Did
in
we
with
take
Jacques
willpower?
and Duke then.
Were we there long enough to take a
You were
willpower?
there for one scene, so it would have been one. So with
One.
Lou
Okay,
kind of stealthing around and everything, you would have had to burn one. Yeah. So Duke and Jacques, the two of you, get back in your cars. You have Armando Bloodwind with you. It is getting dark. We'll say it's not we're a little bit behind in terms of time. Like you guys are out west a little further, so it's sunset basically. What's the next stage for you two?
Do we want to go to another location, see if we're successful?
Perhaps we check the spirits on the north side of Phoenix on the way back. Perhaps they might be there and amenable to striking against the Weaver and its agents.
Right. I mean, no one's called or texted, so I guess everything's good. Because, responsible people would do that if something was wrong. So we're just going to assume everything's okay.
I have no phone, so I will assume everything is okay.
Yeah, and I'm running out of battery with Spirit Mingle, so I probably should behave. But let's drive over there and see if we can find him. And as we're driving, he does want to talk to Armando a little bit and ask him, do you even want the wolf to return, if that could be done for you? Do you desire it, or is that lost?
He'll look at you in the, like, as you're driving, like with these just dead eyes. Why should I deserve it? You saw what became of the place that I once protected. I don't deserve.
You weren't the one that caused that. I mean, just because bad things happen to you doesn't mean you should be punished forever.
But I survived. That means I failed.
Right, but so did your spirit. We think, right? I mean, you're not the only one.
Raged and fought. And then it was taken. It didn't flee or run or hide. Others in the community, they fought. They were killed. They were taken. I would rather either fate. This is the worst. So
Well,
I do not deserve the wolf. Nor do I think you have the capacity to provide it.
well, I think you're wrong there, but that's okay.
No, seriously, you really don't have the capacity to provide it.
I mean, I think there's a 5 experience right that can bring the wolf back.
But
if you don't want it,
you would need to convince him. He's
yeah, I know that's what I'm
following
saying. That's why I'm
Ahroun,
asking
so,
him, because
yeah.
like I'm not gonna get the right if he doesn't want to do it. That's why I'm asking him. I'm not forcing it on him.
But you could roll like a manipulate or something to try to convince him.
Yeah,
that,
I mean,
like,
you
it's
can
not his
try
fault
to
and,
convince him. I'm fine with you want to doing a roll on it. That's fine.
Yeah, I was genuinely just asking RP wise, like what he felt about it. It wasn't like Duke is trying to force him to take the wolf back.
Yeah. It just
He
sounds like
has-
survivor's guilt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's effectively that, but like times 100 because it's werewolf.
Jacques would growl at him. Brother, find the wolf inside you. Join us in the last battle. Help us strike against those who struck down your pack, and greet the Green Mother with a howl on your fangs.
For like the briefest second, like you see a light come back to his eyes, but it immediately goes away. And I would just make your task more difficult.
I mean,
so if you
we're-
would like
yep.
to Duke, make a roll. You can take a bonus die for Jacques as
Okay.
seems to be helping. But yeah, you could give it a roll.
All right, let me roll the same thing. Five. You know what? Look, this guy, we need more werewolves. Let's get some more werewolves. All right, it's a 6.
He will turn to you and he will say, I will aid you brothers in your task. I will try to find revenge. And should I survive it, then and only then will I have been deserving of the wolf once more. To take it now, to return it, I have misused my gifts. I have fallen short. until such time as I can prove I am worthy. I do not want it. So, mechanically, just so I'm not fucking you over, Evan. If a Harano tracker is ever completely filled by a werewolf, they leave the game. Like, they're like literally out of the game. This isn't a case of like you guys running out of rage and you lose the wolf that way. So he's literally in this state of like despair beyond just, well, he ran out of rage this night. So I will say that like for him, he needs something extraordinary. Like he needs a big win, something to really shock him out of that, because he is the equivalent of if one of you filled up your Harano tracker, you would be out of the game. Like your character's dead, basically, and that's essentially where he's at right now. But I don't want you to burn your XP on it either.
No, that's why I was trying to ask, like in game, do it in game before I did anything like that.
I think with 6 successes, he'll do it. Like he would probably, you might be able to do an extreme, like bring him back, but only with like by leading him into and doing something heroic will he probably feel that it is something worthy of him, or that he is worthy of it once more, and then he would probably submit himself to such a ritual or such a rite.
All right, well that's fair. I mean, we're not trying to force anything upon you. It's just offering if that's something you'd be interested in or not. But I did want to, as we're kind of spirit hunting, can you tell us more about your spirit and if you like knew its name or anything? Because if what you say is true and they were captured, I mean, that sounds like an ally to me if we can release it.
Yes. Our spirit was a serpent of fire with glorious wings. What it could do with heat, it would absorb it so that it would be cool for us, even in the harshest of summers. And it would be warm, even in the depths of winter. It would cause the flowers, the blooms, the blossoms to grow brighter and fierier than any you have seen. And it is, if it still is, powerful. It could wrap itself around invaders and strangle it until it either succumbed to burns or smothered it out so it could no longer breathe. But the humans brought some devices, and the black spirals worked with them, and their dirge song lulled our fire serpent into a slumber. And that was when the humans shackled it and smote it, and only smoke was left for once there were flames. And you can see he gets like really like choked up because Jeff's losing his voice. So yeah, he gets choked up and he looks out like, a really emo band cover or something like that.
Well, it sounds like we should.
No.
I know, this guy's super depressed. Duke's trying all he can. Well, it sounds like
in the car with you. You guys have already kind of like done way more than I thought you get from him. Yeah.
We should go to the fire spirits then if we want to convince your Cairn spirit that we're allies. We should show similar strength in fire.
I can help with this, but I do not think I can cross the gauntlet. I am no longer able to walk amongst the spirit world. But I will do what else I can. I know the knife, and I know the gun. It is not the same as claw and fang, but I can draw blood nonetheless. But I cannot speak with those who no longer allow me in their realm.
Well, we'll just be a little bit of a detour, and then we'll head back to our place, and we can introduce you if you'd like, or if you want some time on your own. We're not here to push you into anything. We just are trying to help other guru. That's all.
I will do what you think is best. So we'll say that the two of you head north, and you do in fact find that there have been wildflowers. Oh my God, wildfires that have been growing increasingly close to various neighborhoods in the northwestern section of the valley. They seem to have kept it from spreading too far into various neighborhoods, but if you check the news, if any of you have a phone, or if you just listen to the radio, whatever it might be, you will hear updates that they have managed to corral the flames, corral the fires. They've evacuated neighborhoods. It's taken out a few homes. It's taken out what sounds like some sort of commercial groundbreaking that they were doing, some new shopping center that was going to be the hub of an extension. And that seems to have been what kind of got caught up in the flame. And so as you continue to head northward, you realize there's roadblocks and stuff. They're not letting people pass, except if you're in specific vehicles. So how do you go about trying to pass by some of these just basic blockades? Nothing outrageous. Not like they're.
How far do we think we are from this area of fires?
So what do you mean by that? I'm not sure I understand the question.
How far would since we've been driving up to the blockades and we've been hitting the blockades, how far away are we from the wildfires in general?
It's nighttime, so but you could probably still see some dark clouds on the horizon, suggestions of there's probably still some active fires. I would say, a handful of miles maybe.
Okay. Do we want to be wolves? And Armando, You stay here and we'll come back. If that's okay with you?
I will watch your vehicle. No one will take it. I will slay any who try.
Okay, I like your attitude. It's good.
Jacques barks an affirmative, and he's still in his post, so he just jumps out of the back.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll park somewhere off the road a little bit, not where it's right on the shoulder. We'll try and find a little rest area or something, and then go in wolf form from there.
Okay. So if that's the case, then no issues. You guys you stay away from the roads, stay away from anything that looks like, and you can circumvent it. And eventually, we'll say the two of you reach the edge of, and you can see it. It's spread across. There's these embers, this orange and red flames that are, now that you're getting closer, contrasted still with the darkness of the horizon. And you can definitely see that there are emergency vehicles still here and there. But it's corralled in an area, and it doesn't seem to they seem to have kind of created this barricade, kind of preventing it from getting any further to any sort of residential areas. And so as the two of you approach from from a wilderness desert spread, you can kind of see exactly where these fires have been taking place. So what's your idea here for approaching?
My first thought was that we go Krenos and run into the fire and go show of force to try and say that we are strong and and try and convince them that way, and then kind of try to bond with them within the flames. That was my first thought.
Jacques looks at him, lets out a little yip. That was out of character, but Duke can portray that in game. Yeah. Jacques yips as if to say, "Fire will cause us aggravated damage, and we will die."
Fire is one of the things that will cause aggravated. Fire and silver. Yeah, that would probably kill you after a certain.
Well, that was Evan speaking. Evan does not know the rules of this game.
Fair enough.
So, Jacques looks to Duke, and because Jacques doesn't really have any experience with communicating with the spirits. He's not an Umbral fighter, so he's looking to Duke and kind of communicates that. Do you have some way to reach out to them and speak to the spirits? other than calling to them through the material world?
Yeah, so I could try, but the only thing we could do here is just attempt to bind them. But I was trying to think of a way that we could communicate our reasoning somehow, if that makes sense. Not in like a malicious way, but
Right.
in a way of a brother of yours needs help and we're trying to find them.
Do we know of any way to just open ourselves up to the spirit world from the physical world and just try to commune with the spirits?
Yeah, I mean, there are many spirits that are capable of both, like if they're in the physical world, if they've manifested in the physical world, which these apparently have because they're raging fires.
Right.
Like, that's what they are. So they're in the physical world. So it's really not about you trying to like get into the spirit world at this point or trying to commune with them in the spirit world, because they're not there. They have manifested here. Now they can, like most spirits, at any time they really want, they can retreat back. But currently they are still raging. So you're really just trying to communicate with them in the physical forms.
Okay.
Spirits are weird, man. Like you guys know this. Like this isn't, I'm not trying to be cagey. It's just like spirits are very strange entities that werewolves, a lot more than humans, but you sure as shit don't know like more than maybe 5-10% of all available knowledge of them. Like that's the thing. Like your understanding of them is so limited. So you guys put together a plan and we'll see how they react.
So Jacques is thinking maybe that as in Hispo form, he'll set up kind of a howling song that is sort of a counterpoint to your plea for like a parlay, and see if as Garou, as protectors of the spirit world, with our combined effort, we can at least draw them into a discussion.
Okay. Give me a pool. What do you think as the two of you run up to the edge of the fire? And you do see it. It's a raging inferno. The heat is absolutely palpable. And I mean, you guys are tough, but at the same time, it's fire. Like fire is one of the few things that probably would give a werewolf even like an ounce of pause. So it's not this is sort of an uncomfortable moment.
Maybe like a occult composure. I mean, we're showing that, maintaining our composure, standing before something we know that can destroy us in an attempt to commune with them.
I like it. Occult to the idea of speaking with spirits, composure to keep your wits about you in the face of something that could probably snuff the two of you out pretty easily right now. Yeah.
All right.
You guys, one of you can help each other and give a boost. Like that's fine. And you just describe how it is the two of you kind of try to communicate.
I've got 5 dice in a.
I have 5 also.
Okay, I'll aid you. Your dice roll. You've been hot tonight, so.
All right.
So it's my howling song that aids.
It's been Honix the heat because he knows werewolves are scared of fire.
Yeah, it's like I don't know the rules. This is like episode 20.
Like I don't know the lore. Yeah, I think
things that hurt me.
I think Duke's approach towards it is like he wants to like obviously like show a force that we're going to withstand the flames, but also like the idea of that we want to channel this rage into a place where it can be let go and not contained. So the idea is like to get if this works, the idea is to bind it, and potentially Duke will let the spirit possess him, and he will be like the legs to get to where wants to take it to help save this other fire spirit. That's Duke's plan, at least.
Okay,
That's a good plan.
All right, I'll re-roll.
2 successes. That ain't that great.
It's not great. Aaron had to say it.
Do you get any bonus dice from me though?
I put 1.
Oh, okay.
And you're definitely not taking audience dice because you're a purist, as
Yeah.
Evan has already stated.
There you go. 4.
All right.
The two of you, you're howling in the direction of the fire. You're making yourselves known. And like a it's like the fire is alive. It's like it's actually responding to you shout at it as you see this wave of it arc up into the air in a completely and utterly unnatural movement and sweep down and over the ground in front of you to where it looks like a tidal wave crashing onto the beach. And it smashes down in front of the two of you. And then embers begin to circle. And then the fires from those embers suddenly light up. And you are surrounded by a roughly 10-foot tall wall of fire. And you are directly in the center of it. And as the flames are flickering, you just watch as there's no sound, it's not talking to you, but you notice like this sort of undulation, almost like a frequency of the flames themselves as you just track it around you, this here and this there, as if it's trying to communicate. I'm going to need another roll, as 4 successes is not quite enough to kind of convince them that you're not just worth burning to a crisp. So give me another thought. This is like skill challenge time. Give me another. What will you do as as there's a pause and then it begins to close in on you and kind of constrict? What is it that you guys say in this moment to try to convince it to help?
I think maybe Jacques would turn Krynos and he would howl out in anger that these spirits would not protect their fellow spirits and the Green Mother against the Weaver. And I'm thinking strength and intimidation. I mean, he's trying to bend them to his will through his own rage.
Okay. I like it. And that's also probably a pretty good pool for you. So
it's not too bad.
Go ahead. Okay. And what does Duke do to assist with this?
Yeah, I think Duke's not the rage out type like that, so he's not taking that approach. But I think Duke is, even though it's not whatever, Duke's gonna stick his hand to the flames to show that he's not scared. Like he's going to show like we mean to help. Like I'm not scared of you. I am a friend.
Okay.
I can take damage. It's fine.
Well, we'll see how Jacques' roll goes first, because I'm sure they can control whether you do or not. Jacques, go ahead and make a roll. So do your strength intimidation. I will say that the difficulty for this is going to probably be higher than an occult wisdom, but still possible.
I will.
You want to push? Or,
oh god, yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you have no brutal, so it's free.
Opportunity for a crit here too, as you're sitting on a 10.
Mm-hmm.
Mother
Okay.
Puss bucket. Just 5.
5 successes. Okay. You, Jacques, you go into the Krynos form, and you sort of growl out at it in that kind of guttural language that you are so capable of communicating to your fellow Geru in. And you're not sure entirely if the spirit, the fire spirit, is getting everything that you're putting out. But one thing that gives you hope is that as Duke puts his hand into the fire, you watch as a flame just wraps around him like it's a rope, and then begins to pull off and kind of wrap around almost like it's a scarf at this point. But then you see it kind of continues to wrap until it hangs from his neck almost like a noose at this point. And you don't feel burns, Duke, but you certainly feel like there's this moment of threat. As you have this like fiery noose around your neck. And Duke, I'll give you one more try. As you guys have done really well, but you're trying to essentially convince a very powerful fire spirit to do what you want. So what is what's your last thing before it burns your head off?
I think Duke is gonna still like play into what's happening. I think he's going to, with both of his hands, like grab onto this noose and just like hold on to it. and just close his eyes. Like he's accepting whatever it is that happens, whether it's good or bad.
You grab onto it, and this time you actually feel the fire. You can take 1 point of aggravated damage as your hands will burn. But at the same time, as your eyes are, you close your eyes down, the fires around you, Jacques, you watch as the wall itself begins to funnel backwards until it's this singular spout from which that noose has extended around Duke. And you watch now as the rest of that spout thickens and just wraps itself around until Duke has around him, almost like a mummy, he is just enwrapped in flame. Duke, I need you to roll for your binding test.
Okay. And this is, are they willing or not? Because I'll have to roll.
They are willing, but I still think it's a roll, right? Because it's not.
It says if we're on.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now.
Yeah, it just depends if you're saying. It says exceptionally good terms, which that seems a little intense for here.
Yeah, I don't think they're on exceptionally good terms. I still think you need to make the
This
Gloria
is
cult.
quite
roll.
sound like it.
Yeah, this is like okay terms, maybe.
They are open to a temporary alliance.
Okay,
They're open to not murdering you.
maybe.
Considering
This could have
not
gotten
murdering.
really bad, but like you guys have actually managed to keep them at bay. Like
Okay,
a 4 or 5,
question
like,
before I
that's enough.
roll with
I'm setting it at 6
willpower
difficulty, by the way.
and re-rolling.
Yeah,
If you've used all of your baby willpower, can you use can you
Yeah,
go
you can go
aggravated? Okay, cool.
yes,
That's
you could
what
do
I
the
wanted.
other side. Yeah, baby willpower.
Superficial and aggravated.
Yeah, I think baby and adult.
I like baby and adult willpower.
baby willpower.
Okay,
And it's all
let me
grown up.
check.
Get that extra
All
stuff.
the
All
willpower.
grown up.
What is my cold? Glory. Okay. I'm just gonna have to roll.
Is there anything I can do to help in this situation? Is it a right? I mean, I don't have the right though. So
It is a right. So if you do assist, which you certainly can, but that does mean he adds a brutal die to the roll, which could help him, but also could, or excuse me, a rage die, which could help him, but could also. So it's
up to you.
You know.
Up to you, Duke.
No, because then I'll have 3, and it's more likely like brutal.
Okay.
Because the dice are the same. It's just making it more risky. Okay. See what happens.
Yeah.
Come on.
2. Okay, at least I can reroll the 3.
Sure.
And they're safe.
Come on, big roll.
Yeah.
I hear Evan's been really hot on rolls.
I know. He just had
Yeah, I suck.
to
I
say
suck.
it.
I
It's
had
only
my
3.
big fat mouth.
Okay. So as you kind of extend, as you're trying as best you can, you feel these wrappings around you just begin to compress, and you can feel the heat and also this like restriction. And eventually your clothes become singed, your skin starts to take on a bit of blackness. Take another point of aggravated damage. But after a few minutes, Jacques, when you look out at Duke, who has been kind of going through this little ritual process, old words, symbols, machinations with his arms and hands, and you look out, the fire's gone. And then when Duke turns around to look at you, Jacques, you can see his eyes are glowing this bright, fiery orange as the spirit is inside you. But Duke, you feel very odd and very strange, and you feel as though your mind is kind of being pushed out to the side, as if it's not necessarily going to do what you tell it to do, but it is going to use your body for a little while.
Jacques slips back into his spell, lets out a little bit of a yip and a bark as if to say, all right, we can work with this,
Okay.
and trots back towards the car.
Okay. So, with you guys successfully harnessing the power of a fire spirit, that definitely won't backfire at some point. Let's cut back so Lou, we'll say maybe you drop Selena off and then go check on Lucas. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think Eustace is. I'm going to go home. So here's the grove. You can go back and talk to Eustace, who is here, and I'm going to just quickly go talk to you, Lucas.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
That sounds good.
Okay. We will check in on Eustace and Selena. You guys are back in your grove. Eustace, you just had this like conversation with the door. You've spent some time with the kids all day. Selena, you've been doing some espionage work. Anything else the two of you are looking to get done tonight?
It was interesting. We did a duo trip to the Umbra. Saw
yeah,
some
me too.
stuff. Oh, wow. We were just all doing it on our own and making it back. Okay.
That's right. Yeah, everything went fine. I still have no clue exactly how to do what we need to do. Apparently there's like some captured Thunderbird there. Then it's angry. It's maybe not necessarily corrupted. It's just really pissed off that it's caged.
Well, we've noticed that the good woman there, she is a spirit. She has a spirit. It's very strong. Can definitely see it as we kind of followed her. Lots of security around her. Lots of things, and even in the Umbra, there's a lot of security around her area. Lots of eyes, lots of watching. Lou is. I didn't go with her. I stayed still and quiet and didn't mess up her stealth, but quite a bit of security there, creatures and whatnot.
Hey man, knowing the serenity to recognize your wheelhouse is an important thing.
She went to go talk to Lucas, so hopefully that goes better than last time.
Something happened last time. I spent a little bit of time with him.
Oh, she, I think, shared a bit about our heritage with him, and
that's
it takes a little time. It takes some time to adjust to that information. But I'm hopeful that when Jacques and Duke come back, that maybe they've been successful.
I hope so. I feel bad. I don't know that I've got that much to contribute other than like some passing knowledge. The Mother Marilla talked about Lady of Glass, who I assume is the lady
You
you've been.
talked to her?
Oh yeah. So you remember that tree she had up by their place? So they kind of have that sort of similar, like growing in the spirit world adjacent to where we are. She's been watching the kids. The kids all kind of made this whole thing talk about how they actually really like her, and she's always really helpful. But it was kind of the other fellow that was kind of the piece of shit, and
He
maybe
really is a piece of shit.
it really was. But yeah, turns out she and Rune are like super close. She gave her a big hug, talked about how good, just it was kind of a nice thing, honestly. She kind of wants to watch out for the kids. I assume it's hard talking when she does the bird speak thing. Most Rune said she talked more than normal. I'm blabbering. Yeah, we did.
She's not going to help us though. She'll just watch and make sure that hers are okay.
Yeah, kind of. And honestly, I didn't quite. I'm fine asking, making sure she's watching after the kids. I'm not going to ask her to go running into this. Asked her if she had any insight to share. Main thing I got was a whole bit about the Thunderbird. And she gave a heads up about the Lady of Glass. It's kind of who you've been spying on. The Circle Dogs, which is the Spiral Dancers, and there may be another thing that isn't immediately clicking in my head just yet, but
we have quite the task in front of us, and I think it was going to be quite the danger.
Well, you know what Mark Twain said, you got to eat a toad, do it first thing in the day, nothing else seems half so bad. So once we're all together, we should just go do it.
Yes, the longer we wait, the worse things may be. So I will go think about our impending possible demise.
Wait a minute. It occurs to me. The young Gru seem pretty friendly. They're not, comparatively to us, to them, they're not that much older than Lucas. Maybe I might see if they're willing to, subtly spend some time with him so he's kind of got some kin to help ease the transition.
That is a great idea. You know, you just have quite the caregiving instincts. I admire that in you.
Well, thank you. You too. You keep people healthy. I appreciate that.
Oh, from time to time, sometimes I get a little distracted, but Lou's
You're
doing a little
saying
bit
things
better.
aren't always a straight and easy path for you? You don't have multiple things to take care of?
Well, see, there you go again, caregiving,
Right?
and she'll just kind of pat
You
Eustace
mean
on the
well,
arm.
you're always trying to help. You can't do everything all the time. It's okay.
Well, thank you, Eustace. Always feel
Thank
better
you.
chatting with you.
Same. And then I'll go do exactly that. Go see if I can catch Rune and Titan and the rest of them and kind of like subtly hint like, hey, you know the thing where like a parental figure be like, hey, can you spend some time with the younger kid?
Yeah.
But
Titan will be like, does it mean helping Lou out?
it does, and there's a chance that maybe, hard to tell till it happens. But he might be, and that's not an easy transition. I don't know. I'm not going to ask any of you to share what happened for you. I know my transition, it was bad. It was just terrible. And I wish to hell that there had been somebody there for me. And that's, part of why I like to try so hard to make sure that others have somebody. And if he could have somebody, I think that'd be great. You're a real stand-up guy. The whole group of you are great.
Yeah.
So,
I can help. I can tell I've been spending a lot of time with her, and I can tell she's struggling. There's a lot on her plate.
She tries to do a lot. Nobody can do everything, and she loves them, but not everybody knows how to do everything all the time. That, the whole village to raise a child thing, right?
I had a little brother, but when change came, I had to leave so that he didn't, get hurt.
Yeah. I had a little sister. I was trying to protect her from my dad, and when change came, I didn't have either anymore. So, you could be there, that'd be great.
And you can see he kind of nods and kind of sees you're upset, and he's understand. It's like I understand. He puts a big old hand on your shoulder and kind of pats it. I'll help. I can help.
All right, you're the best. The whole lot of you, so lucky you're here.
It's not luck. It was all you that made sure that we're here.
Group thing, man.
We're no luck there. That was just, y'all helped us when we needed it, and now it's time to us to pay the favor. And Rune said that you don't want us coming with you, but I don't know if we can sit idly by and not lend a hand, at least in some way.
Yep, man, listen to you. Just, the whole future talking. It's great. So glad you're here.
All right.
I'm going to go take a second. I'm sorry.
Yeah. All right. Okay. And so we'll cut at that point over to Lou. Did you go home, Lou? Lou, what's your apartment like, or your house like? Where does Lou live?
Lou does live in an apartment building, and it's not the newest thing, but it's not like 70s old. It's probably only maybe a 90s or early 2000s build. Inside, you've got it's homely in a way. It's got all like tables, beds, 2 bedrooms. But it does have a bit of a mess. There's lots of plates in the sink, and covered in papers, and there's that big board just kind of like against an entire wall that just has like all the little newspaper clippings and details and who's doing what in terms of corporations.
You notice when you come home that there is a note that's been left for you. Either on a table or on a refrigerator, wherever it is that you would normally leave notes. And it says, going out. And it just says Lucas.
Lou will sigh. Okay, then I will do this, and she'll pull out her phone and she will call Lucas.
Phone rings, absolutely, and goes to voicemail.
Hey, Lucas, this is, well, your mom. I'm about to do something a little not great. So I just wanted to let you know that as your mother, I might have problems and you're learning about more of them. But if I don't try to do my best to make sure you have a world that is good to live in long term, then I'm not a good parent. So I'm going to do something a bit dangerous and a bit dumb. If anything happens, you've got Riley. You can, of the people that you see me with, Eustace is okay. Don't go with Duke or Jacques or Selena. The new kids are okay as well. The little young adults, they're okay. But yes, know that I love you and take care. I've taught you everything that I can, and they're a bit Luddite, so you might need help. Okay, bye-bye.
And it'll be like, are you happy with your message? Like that kind of automated thing? Like, do you want it to go through or not?
Yes, stop.
Okay. So you leave the message. And maybe 30 seconds later, probably not enough time to listen to the message. You get a text that just says, busy.
I text back, I know I've left you a message. When you have time, please listen to it. I hope to see you later. Love you.
And then you get a text back like, at movies. Bye.
Bye.
Okay. Lou, give me an awareness pool.
Ooh, all right, sure. Awareness and?
Wits, probably. Yeah.
Okay.
Driving, maybe.
All right. I will use a willpower to re-roll 3 of those.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
Was that 5 total?
Yes.
Okay.
I think that is.
Lou, you notice that when you're looking around, there's things missing. Refrigerator, cabinets. You notice that when you peek into Lucas's room, a lot of his stuff is missing. Clothes, a bag, that kind of thing.
I'm not that surprised, but he'll take his time. And I've given him information now.
Okay. So as you're standing there and like looking down at his room, you look out the window and you see passing by on the street below, you see a van just pass by, this kind of ice cream truck just passing along the road, continuing off down the boulevard near your apartment building. And we'll end there for tonight. And we'll pick up next week.
Oh, gosh.
Everything's fine. He just ran away. So, just ran away.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Oh.
That's why you give the bonds and stuff so I could put him in danger. Like that. Yeah. But don't worry. He's running away. He's running. I like how he's afraid because like his mom's like, hey, I'm a werewolf. And so the solution is, hey, let's send a bunch more werewolves to go hang out with him. So like, this is so great. Like, yeah, we're werewolves too.
I don't know that.
Yeah, no. It's
Well,
okay.
but there's a difference
rage.
between like
They're young.
Yeah.
They're hip
Yeah.
werewolves, you know.
Yeah.
Like, she's
Yeah.
old. She's in like her 30s or something.
Sure.
Okay.
It's going to be great.
But they're
Sure.
also
I mean,
from a
it's like-
place that like made a whole thing about like let's bring new people in. Like they very recently experienced how you bring somebody in and help them cope with it.
Yeah. No, I think that makes a lot of sense because it's much more recent for them too. They've done this shift before as well.
Mhm.
All right. So that is the end of this next week. Could be the end. Could be the end. We'll see how the pacing goes. You guys have a fire spirit possessed Duke. You have a werewolf gone full Hirano You've got the knowledge that a powerful Thunderbird spirit is going to bust its ass free and just destroy everything once it's free. You've got a missing kid now with Lucas. So everything should be great. Should be fine. Should be good. So yeah, we'll see what happens at the end. So why don't we go ahead and do some closing plugs, and then we'll get out of here. We'll start with Jeremy. Jeremy, go ahead and plug your Patreon, if you will.
Yeah.
I know that you have a Patreon. You very much like
everybody's on
plugging it for
Patreon,
us.
comic books, maps, tokens, fun stuff. Check it out.
There it is, right? The Twitch chat, perfect timing, just like that. No problems
cool. Yeah, very
whatsoever. Aaron, you want to tell us what's going on over on Garblag?
Absolutely. So next week on Tuesday, you can join Millie the GM at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as she continues running her Coriolis campaign. Then on Wednesday at the same time, I will be in the narrator's seat, continuing the Marvel Multiverse Cataclysm of Kang, where we will be starting the Rank 3 adventure in New York City. So that should be a good time. And then Thursday, you can find Pete, Mr. Garblag himself, is continuing to showcase his brand new RPG that's currently being kickstarted called Heroic Deeds. It's kind of got an old school high fantasy feel with modern mechanics, and he's running his players through the classic Red Hand of Doom adventure.
All right, perfect. As for us, next thing we got going is tomorrow night. Aaron, you're running tomorrow night. What are we doing tomorrow?
Yep. So tomorrow night, please come back and join us at the same time. We're going to be jumping into the Warhammer 40K again with Cubicle 7's Wrath and Glory, and we're going to find out what our Veronius team of troubleshooters have gotten up to after they managed to clear out the Silent Monastery with their inquisitorial acolyte only almost dying from a sniper shot due to pissing off a commissary general.
Yeah,
Commissar general, that is.
So close. We're so close.
So close.
That would have been okay if you killed him. Okay, now he's part robot, so he's becoming closer to my people.
Yeah.
So
He's embracing the Omnissiah.
Absolutely, as all should. Anyway, as the flesh is weak. But never mind. All right,
Motive
and then,
force is strong.
It is. The motive force is strong. So Saturday is our next game. After that, we got Call of Cthulhu, Eternal Lies. If you didn't watch the end of last session, that was something. Steven did Steven things. So yeah, that was a thing.
Lord.
That was a way for that to end. So we'll see how this goes. Monday, we got some Fragged Empire. As you can see, the top row playing in that are like kind of weird, sort of zany space sci-fi stuff. Tuesday, more Heroic Deeds. And then next Thursday, possibly the finale of Werewolf. And if you haven't joined the Discord yet, you should go do so like right this second if you're watching this on Twitch, as we are about to we're going to do a giveaway pretty soon here to give some lucky Discord user on our server a gift certificate to Norse Foundry, so you can get some fancy new dice that look really nice. I already said nice twice. Or dice related accessories, that kind of stuff. I think that's it. Let's go ahead and raid Insomnia Night RPG if you want to go ahead and follow along. Thank you to Tantropy Emporium for the raid earlier. Thank you to the Rebel Pilot as well. But we'll pay it forward. Have a great rest of your night. We'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.
Good night.
See ya.